What's up, guys? What's up, guys? How you doing today? I keep the hat on, so I keep the hat off. I don't even know what to do. Give you guys some time to get on. Happy Easter, man. Happy Easter, everybody out there. I know people with family and friends today, relaxing and maxing. Happy Easter, family. What's going on? What the heck? 2 Son, what's going on with you? What's up going on with your 2 Son? Chase, like the bank, what's going on with you? Hey, phillydom, how you doing? How everybody doing today? Scott S. Shout out to Scott S in the building. Shout out to my boy Scott S in the building. Philly Don, what's up? All is well, Scott S. Richard Afternoon from the UK. Shout out to the UK, man. Shout out to all my people out there in the UK. 2 Son said, keep up the work. Thank you so much, man. Sometimes you get frustrated. You don't know what's going on. I put my heart and soul into my videos. I do so many of them. Kay said, happy Easter, Philly and family. Kay said, happy Easter, everybody. Natalia, I see you out there in Puerto Rico. She said, hi, everyone. Yeah, and Chase said, in the mountains of, I guess, I got my little pop-ups on my phone. I don't know why I don't have it. Not my phone, but on my computer. Okay, Natalia said, hi, everybody. 2 Son said, keep up the work. I read that. Kay said, happy Easter, Philly and family. Bell said, in the mountains of northern Idaho. Shout out to Idaho. We're glad you're watching from Idaho. That's all right. Darkstar said, happy Easter, everybody. Darkstar 44 said, happy Easter. In fact, I might bring Darkside on the live. I gotta ask her. I should have called her earlier. I'll be messing up. Darkside, you're welcome to come on the live if you're just hanging out. Let me know. Let me know if you need some time. I'll talk for a while, but I'll definitely bring you on the live today. Yeah, so many migrant shelters in New York City, man. New York City is one big migrant shelter now, man. Between the homeless and the migrants, every day and every day they trying to figure out new places to house the migrants. It's kind of crazy. G said you think that's going to Santa Cruz border crossing the ain't talking crowd. Go to San Ysidro and um, San Diego. That's the border, San Ysidro border. Jay said salute. G said you haven't seen a migrant city yet. I don't know, man. New York is pretty close to it right now. New York is pretty close to the definition of a migrant city. No problem, Dark Side 44. I get a little while. Take your time. You let me know when you're ready. Man, I don't feel like double checking my lens. Okay, there you go. Natalia said, we're immigrant city G. Yeah, it's definitely immigrant city for sure. New York is definitely immigrant city. We're gonna have Dark Star 44 come on in a little bit. Give us some time. G said here in Pilo, Pennsylvania, Valley Forge, Pennsylvania. There is no homeless. Yeah, G, they don't. I know that area well. I'm from Philly, so I've been all through there. Valley Forge, Pennsylvania. Natalia said, please hit the like button. Yeah, make sure you guys hit the like button, man. We're going to talk about the migrant crisis and everything, NYC migrant crisis. Everybody knows that I do daily logs, man. I might do daily vlogs. I'll probably do one today After I do the live, I'll walk around a little bit and try to get some content for you guys and let you see what's going on with the migrants on this Easter Sunday. Natalia said, "You welcome, no problem." Wayne R said, "Good morning, good morning, and I guess he's saying good morning and afternoon. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you at in the world. Good night. You know, I got people watching from Thailand, people watching from Germany, people watching from Denmark, people watching from the UK, Ireland, people watching from Canada, people watching from all over the United States, people watching from South America. Shout out to my people in El Salvador, people watching in Colombia, all throughout the Caribbean." Daniel said there will be, what is it? You think so? You think so, Daniel? Okay, shout out to Kay. I see you watching as well. Once again, give the video a like, man. Support your boy, the one and only phillydom. I'm a travel blogger out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Right now, I'm here in New York City, and I've been recording videos here for a while. I was traveling to many countries. I've been to Jamaica, I've been to Puerto Rico, I've been to Canada, I've been to, I'm trying to say Costa Rica South, I said Costa Rica South, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, obviously El Salvador, Belize, and so many other places in name. 78 said watching from Cleveland, Ohio. Shout out to Cleveland, Ohio, man. 78, shout out to you. Natalia said, "I think a lot of people will leave New York." Yeah, I do think a lot of people will leave New York, man, for a lot of different reasons. It ain't just because of the migrants. The cost of living is very expensive. If you're not making at least 150 or better, this is definitely 100% not the place that you want to be. Household income. So, you could be with a lady, your wife, she can make 80 grand, you can make 80 grand, y'all got it. But you need that. And that's like the bare minimum. What happens if you have a whole bunch of kids? What happens if you live in a very, very expensive place? The whole New York is expensive, but some other places in the world are expensive. That's why I'm not understanding why the migrants would want to make this place their home, man. Because you got to have a lot of money to live here. RSVP said migrants and blacks fight on the train. Yeah, it was a migrant. I don't know if it was a migrant. I can't say that. I'm not going to say that on my channel. But I know a black guy that got shot in his head. He's the one that started the altercation. He thought that the guy was a migrant because he was Spanish. So he assumed that he was a migrant. So it's kind of crazy. Alex said people from Mexico. Shout out to Mexico as well. I live here as well. So shout out to Mexico. Michael Miller said government. Yes, indeed. G said you got to live with your mom with 3 kids at 40 years old as a woman. Yeah, that's crazy, man. If somebody doing that, that's a very tough situation for them. Okay, Daniel said it's better, straightforward. If people live and sell their property, the market will be in a glued mode. Interesting. I heard you say something earlier as well, man. Interesting. 78, shout out to you. And G said you got to live with your mom with 3 kids at 40 years old as a woman. Wow. But yeah, you guys know that I walk around. I do these walk and talk videos, and I go by the different migrant shelters. I go by there to let you see the daily activity of the migrant shelters and what the migrants are up to. I said on my not live yesterday, but my video yesterday about that they don't tell you on the news the truth about everything. They don't tell you that some shelters have migrants and You have migrants living there. You have migrants living there, and you have locals living. And some of those sheltered families, not like the male migrants, but like the families. And even some of the families come in the mail because you got a father. So, but happy Easter, everybody, man. Hope everybody's doing good. Miller said, I've been all around the world in the military, and what's happening here is very sad and only getting worse. Miller, yes, indeed. And I know you thank you for serving in the military and everything. So I know you know this firsthand more than we know, man. I know you know this firsthand more than we know. That the vets are not getting this type of accommodation, like free hotels for months at a time, free food, the whole nine. So I know they not understanding. Winnie R said, concern for your health, mask up around the migrants. I hear you, Winnie. I hear you. That's a mask up no matter what. A lot of people still wear masks on the trains and stuff. People are still wearing masks on the trains and everything like that. Miller said, thank you, brother. G said, you cannot go out and give up. Oh my goodness, man. G, you funny. Kay said, Philly Dom, your voice sounds strained. I'm worried about you. No, my voice is good. I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm 100% all right. Shout out to John Thomas. John Thomas, thank you for the 4.99 super chat. I greatly appreciate that. He said, Philly Dom, thanks for your coverage of this issue. This is a lot of federal hearings occurring in New York, so asylum claims are being reviewed. Death, death, election, definitely an election issue. Definitely an election issue. Yes, indeed, man. This is going to make or break the election, John Thomas. This 100% is going to make and break the election right here. 100%, man. The migrant crisis is going to make and break it. And I always tell people, even though you don't live in New York City, you don't live in Colorado, you don't live in Illinois, you don't live in California, you don't live in Texas, you don't live, I don't know where else is that I can say, Arizona, you don't live in New Mexico, and you don't live in Washington State. This will affect you one way or the other. One way or the other. This election that's coming up is a very key, important election, man. A very key and important election. So make sure you vote, man, and be smart when you vote. What is it? Natalia said, please share the link and hit the like button. Also, guys, I have what do I want to say? What do I want to say? What do you want to say? Philly, what do you want to say? What do you want to say, Philly? You know, sometimes you forget what you want to say, but you know what you want to say. Also, don't forget, my books on Amazon. Check out my books on Amazon. I have 4 books on Amazon. I'm working on another book, and thinking about writing another book about a very important topic once I get a chance. Shared Beer 79. Shout out to you, Shared Beer. Once again, if you watch it, make sure you hit the like button. Also, you can support your channel any way you can. That would help me in any way you can. Give me your opinion on different subjects. Give me information to talk about. Support me via Cash App, PayPal. I have merch. Make sure you go to Philly Down merch and support me via merch. I would greatly appreciate it. Okay, Linda Rather old soldiers home for vets who need a home in old age. Okay, Linda. Also, everybody share the videos, get a video like. But yeah, I'm gonna keep going around. I'm gonna keep going to the different migrant places. Now that they got to the point, because I go to so many migrant shelters that they cover up the sign now. They never did that before. Till recently, they start covering up the signs of the different places. So when they cover up the signs, to me, it's telling me like, well, how long is this migrant crisis going to last for? How long is it going to last for if you guys keep doing everything to prolong this? And we still have more and more migrants coming in. They still have more and more migrants coming in every day in New York City. Every day, more and more migrants are coming in. Every day, come to the Roosevelt. They come into the Roosevelt Hotel. They literally did everything to make it hard for the migrants to get into New York City, and they still finding ways to get into New York City. Now they came up with this 30 day law. Been out for a while now. Rule that some migrants can only stay in the shelter for 30 days, and then if they try to reapply, they're not eligible to reapply. They got some kind of rule that some kind of way that they gauge how they're going to do this as far as keeping it to 30 days for some migrants. And when they say migrant, I don't know why the news don't be specific and direct. They're talking about males, like the males. They're not going to put no kids and women on the street. They're not going to put family on the street. But as far as the single males that's up there, they're going to start picking and choosing who can reapply and who can't reapply. Different protocol, different things you got to go through. It's been out for a little bit, so they still in the testing stages and they're trying to see how it works. G said, yeah, the U.S. is the promised land. 100%, man. The U.S. is the promised land, man. But people gonna find out, man, there's a lot of problems here too in the promised land. That it's not a cakewalk. Because you talk to people from Haiti and El Salvador and all these different countries. Not to just pick them two countries out, but and they will let you know that they have an opportunity to go to the States. They go to the States and they think it's like bread and butter and everything's just gonna flow like water. And it's a little bit more difficult than they thought. John C said illegal is illegal. Yes, indeed. I hear you. Don't need said hi. Shout out to you, don't need. Let's see. RSVP said migrants been here 3 months, speaking no English, and already have a girlfriend. You funny, man, but that's true for some of them. Natalia said, please share the link and hit the like button. Also, check out the one and only merch and books on Amazon. Yes, indeed, man. Check out my books and my merch on Amazon. I would greatly, 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 greatly appreciate it. Shockwave said, did you go to let me see, Bronx to interview the people about the migrants? Shockwave, I ain't been to the Bronx. Said I was supposed to go to Chicago and some other places. I didn't even get a chance to go. I got a family member, I got a cousin here from out of town. I ain't seen him in a while, so I've been hanging out with him, me and my other cousin. So that's why I'm still here in New York. And I was trying to go to Chicago and the other place. I'm not going to tell you. I can't give you all my secrets where I go, but it was another place I was going to go to as well. So, but now I'm still here in New York City. So we got to figure it out, man. We got to figure it out. Michael said, keep this channel on for the day. You said, keep this channel on for the day. Yeah, I will. I'm going to do lives probably all day today. I don't know. I just go on my gut feeling. I'll take a break for a while and I'll just keep coming back and I'll keep doing lives today all day. I just feel like doing them today. We can talk about different subject matters and different things like that. In a little bit, we have Darkstar 44 coming on soon. talk. She's very educational, informative, has a lot of plethora of knowledge. Regarding the crisis and the detailed things with this migrant crisis that is affecting the United States. G said, I saw Migrant taking a bath in the river in the 40-degree temperature in the morning at the border of San Francisco, California. Wow. If anybody don't know San Francisco, California, that's the town, that's the border town between Tijuana, Mexico, and San Diego County. 79 put the mask in with a mask. I hear you. And I'm in a conference room, where I'm staying at. It's a building. It's at a building, they have a conference room, excuse me. I'm not even tired, I just room for no reason. They have conference rooms, and I'm in the conference room. So y'all might hear a little bit of an echo, and y'all think that my voice or something changed, but no, it's the echo. R said, I'm disabled and former law enforcement, and I've been harassed to pay my father's debt since his passing. Can't find help anyone, but migrants can get plenty. Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. Whiny R, that's crazy. Sorry about your dad passing, and you got to pay the debt and everything. Wow. G said here in Poly, Pennsylvania, the government is too presidents, migrants will not be able to survive here. Once again, everybody, hit the like button and share my videos. Let me put my cash up here, man. Let's talk about this migrant crisis, man. Let's talk about these shelters, man. Let's talk about it all. Hold on for a second. I'm typing right this second. Support for the yeah. 19 said don't celebrate Easter at all, but when someone hates you with a nice hates you with a nice message, I don't need to get into the background of it all. You just send a nice message back. Yes, indeed, I hear you on that. Reports that there aren't any far exceptions being made, exemptions being made here. Home should be taken care of first. Yes, indeed, I agree. The foundation of the problem begins with our own citizens. They really need to stop misusing the taxpayers' money. That's deep. Rico Green, what's going on with you, man? You're gonna have to be straight up today, man. You can't play games, man. I'm gonna have to block you. You saying a bunch of crazy stuff. I'm just keeping it real, man. Keeping it real. But shout out to you, Rico Green. So our article of African American women losing their lives. Please comment. Okay. Dark said, give me a call. So I can call Darkstar now. Darkstar 44 said I can give her a call. Let's see what she's talking. Darkstar 44 said I can call her. So let me call her now. Let's see what she got to say, what's going on. We've been on for 1 hour, not 1 hour, 24 minutes. Trying to call Darkstar 44. Hold on for a second. Is it Darkstar 44? Coming in on the live. Shout out to Big Hawk as well, man. Shout out to Big Hawk.
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. Happy Easter to everybody.
Yeah, oh yeah, happy Easter. Happy Easter. Happy Easter. How's your day going?
Okay. Not too bad. I just finished up lunch, so that's one reason why I was running a little bit late.
Okay.
Had to get that lox and bagels in. You know how that is.
Yeah, no, I overstand. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I didn't eat yet for the day yet. I think I'll eat later on the day.
Yeah, I'll probably do some lamb later on today.
Oh, okay. That's all right. That's all right. That's all
I
right.
gotta get that New York flavor in for today.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah.
So how's everything going with you?
Everything going good. I have a cousin here from out of town. I ain't seen him like in 15 years. So, we've been partying, hanging out, catching up. You know how that go.
That's good.
Yeah.
We all need to catch up. We all need to catch up with family.
Yes, indeed. A lot of people don't do it, man. Life is short. People hold grudges. Life is short. If you have people that you love and you care about, you should always make time for them, some type of time.
Yeah, I was actually texting back and forth with my niece up in Connecticut.
Okay.
Was telling her a few things that happened while I was in the grocery store.
Okay. Wow, that's cool.
She had a little racial tension in the grocery store.
Up in Connecticut. Oh wow.
Yeah, so let's get to this migrant thing, huh?
Yeah.
I know you've gone to a couple of different places in New York.
Yes.
I saw you down in Queens and everything. So
yeah, I was on my way, and my cousin didn't come into town because I already got my ticket, and I was gonna go to Boston. I just said it now. First time I was gonna go to Boston and then Chicago. To
yeah,
to talk.
Speaking of Boston, a migrant-related issue there. The Boston police, actually, Boston, a division of ICE, captured 4 illegal immigrants who had raped children.
Oh wow! So they came through the border. Well, I figured like they came through Texas, and eventually somewhere they made their way up to Boston.
And the thing is, because Boston is a sanctuary city, the first time that they were caught, Boston police turned them over to ICE. So I guess what the ICE department did, they have a special division within ICE, set up a sting for them. And that's how they caught them.
Did they do this? The rapes were done in the States, or they was done in their country and they fled their country and came to the States and they were like hiding, or because you were saying they would set up a sting operation?
They were illegal Venezuelans.
Okay.
They came to the United States, and the assaults occurred in Boston.
Wow. They looking real bad, man. The Venezuelans, they're not all bad people. I'm not gonna sit here, say they all bad people, but I already know what happened anyway. Like, Venezuelans have explained it to me. And, you're pretty educated what's going on, that the president, because, we got a lot of people watching, a lot of people don't understand everything. The president cleared their jails out, dumped everybody out of jail, cleared their jail, and their mental places. What do you call the people that with the mental issues? Where they keep them at?
Asylums, mental asylums.
Yeah, mental asylum. Yeah, they cleared them out because they didn't have money to take care of the people. So these are the people that's coming into the United States, guys. These are some of the type of migrants that are coming in from certain countries, and Venezuela is definitely one of them that they just did like the Mario boat lift, what the Cubans did back in the day. They doing it now. They just cleared all their problems, and basically they put their problems on the U.S. and it's we starting to see the effects of it. And the sad thing is, it's going to get worse before it gets better because they're going to have to put some protocol to really lock down on this because that's out of control. Because especially with the Venezuelans, it's been incident after incident with them now.
Yeah, another thing that I wanted to bring to your attention, it was an article in the New York Post.
Okay.
Dated March 27th.
March 27th, that's the other day. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is just a frame of reference for people.
Yeah.
So if they want to go back and read the article, they can go back, and that's where I'm citing the information from, is from this article. It says, Border Patrol Union President's warning. Biden is deflating border numbers. Mass amnesty is coming.
Wow.
See, basically what he's saying in the article is that Biden is only reporting the number of people that are being captured at the border. He is not including the number of people that are being flown in directly from other countries.
Or sneaking in and got, they bypassed Border Patrol and all that. They just got in, Or they paid the cartel or somebody to take them under. So he's just, the numbers we're getting are just the numbers you're saying that what they call them, they say they have in contact. When I'm actually catching the people and talking with them and documenting them. That's the only ones we're getting, but we're not getting the other numbers. And when that's scary, it could be a lot. At least scary can be a lot higher.
It is much higher, according to the Border Patrol Union President. It's much higher.
Unbelievable. I mean, I thought I'd never say this not to cut you off. I thought I would never say this as a U.S. citizen. We might need to close the border for a little bit just to get it under control. I know it's going to hurt, some of our relationships with different countries, but I mean, this is getting out of hand. This is completely out of hand.
It says the Biden administration is flying migrants into the U.S. so that the border doesn't look as out of control. The head of Border Patrol Union tells the Post in an exclusive interview, adding that he expects an amnesty program in the future to accommodate the millions who have come into this country since the president took office in January of 2021.
This is out of control. This is completely out of control.
I have been saying this whole amnesty thing for a while, and I've had people, contradict me in that respect. Well, back in '86, when you had Ronald Reagan, who gave mass amnesty to people back in '86, it was a bill that came through Congress, went to the Senate, and eventually he signed.
Okay.
One of the things that was Ronald Reagan's biggest regret is that he ever signed that.
Wow.
Because within that plan, within that bill, there was supposed to be money allocated to repair the border wall. So amnesty was granted, but they never went back and repaired the border wall. Unbelievable. So that money was probably shifted from, allocated from the border wall and went someplace else. God only knows where that went. It probably went to, junk projects in border walls, border states.
Wow.
So we're going to have a little bit of a problem on our hands going forward.
A big problem.
They say, the government says right now they want to keep the amount of people coming across the border down to 5,000 a day. And what the Border Patrol is saying, we can't even handle 5,000 a day. It should only be about maybe 1,000 people a day.
Yeah, going for political asylum. Well, how long would it take them to reverse the policy to make them wait? You know how they had the Haitians wait in Mexico. They need to reverse it and have them wait in Mexico or whatever place they're at, until.
Well, that all depends on the next president. Because like we know, whoever gets elected in November doesn't take office until January.
Yeah, people don't understand that too. They are like, oh, I can't wait till November. But you still, the way stuff's been going with this migrant crisis in the U.S., every couple of days it's like eternity. It's like forever. Like, so much stuff happens in a couple of days. Like a couple of days, a couple of million people can cross into the border in 1 month. Like they did already in 2020 with the end of the 2023 when they had the 300,000 that they say cross. Like, you know what I mean? So this is like touch and go. Something has to be done drastic.
Well, and that's the thing too. If Biden loses the election for whatever reason, right then and there, people that are currently in Mexico, because right now there's another caravan that's coming up from Tapachula, Mexico.
I saw that.
And what will happen is they'll come into Mexico. Some of them will come straight to the border. Others will disperse in Mexico.
Okay.
Get jobs, stay in shelters, try to get back on their feet a little bit before they make that eventual push to the border. But if Biden loses the election, do you not think for 1 minute that everybody that's in Mexico is going to bum rush the border before the new president gets into office?
So that means November and December will be horrible months, and even the early part of January.
Just like this past November and December, where we're getting 300,000-400,000 people coming across the border.
Yeah, because it'll be their last ditch effort to get into the U.S. They know if Trump is there, he's gonna do everything in his powers to make that border situation impossible. So yeah, you're right. It's gonna be their last ditch effort, and they're gonna rush the border because they're gonna like this either now or never, because they don't know when an opportunity like this is gonna open up again, and it will probably be years.
It also says in this article, the Biden administration announced the program in January of 2023 to allow thousands of Cubans, Haitians, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans to enter the country through a legal entry program known as humanitarian parole.
Yep, that's true.
So since then, more than 386,000 migrants have flown into the United States, so long as they had a sponsored and submitted to a background check, unlike the upwards of 85% of migrants who are routinely released into the country after crossing the border on foot.
That's true. Everything you say is true. Because I told you my family's from Haiti, and I had some family members sponsor some of their family members back in Haiti to bring them to the States, and that's true. That's true what you're saying, 100%. And they was flying in. So a lot of that Haitian wave that just came, they all been flown in. They flew from Haiti, or they fly from the Dominican Republic, whatever they could do, whatever they can do to get up to the U.S.
That's what a lot of them were doing. We're actually going either into the DR and then flying in, or flying to Mexico City.
Yep.
And then flying from Mexico City into the United States.
Yep. There was a guy I met in Haiti. He's a YouTuber. He flew in. He's in the state. He's in Ohio right now. And he actually had something in his background. He actually committed a crime and had something in his background. I think like a drug charge or something. Nothing crazy, but like a drug charge or something. And they let him back into the country. I told him that was like a miracle. He was actually deported. He was sitting in Haiti for like 11, 12 years. And they let him back in on a Biden program. I can attest to this. I know this guy personally. He's a YouTuber. I know this guy personally. I was like, wow. I was surprised they let him back in the country. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. He was deported to Haiti. He was deported.
And most of the people that they do catch have been deported at least, multiple times.
He's been deported. This guy's been deported.
The guy that killed Laken Riley, he had been deported.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was sad. He's been in trouble with the law for like 3 or 4 times in the States as a migrant. How do you let these guys sit in the country? They should be out of here right away. If I say, since Venezuela want to play games and don't want to take them back, send them to Mexico. That's their port of entry.
The other thing is too, the cheerleader, the 16-year-old cheerleader that got stabbed to death here in Texas. The guy that unalived her had been deported 4 times.
Unbelievable.
You know, they got this other Venezuelan that's going around on TikTok that was making all those videos. He recently got caught by ICE.
Okay.
I think it was on Friday they caught him.
Yeah, was that the ringleader? That was the ringleader, right? If I'm thinking about the same Venezuelan.
No, this is the Venezuelan that was telling people that they could squat in people's homes.
Oh, okay, I heard about that too. Okay, I know, yeah. Oh, okay, they caught him.
You know, was going around flaunting money and telling people that Americans are slaves if they work and all this other stuff. Yeah, he got caught on Friday by ICE.
Wow. ICE about to have
But they're only going to turn around and deport him.
Yeah.
And then he's going to just turn around and come back.
Because some of them guys, I'm going to be honest with you, man, they're so used to getting in trouble with the law, they're so criminally inclined that they'll send money back to their country or out of the country, 30, 40,000, whatever. And the second they get deported, they go to that stash, they get their money, and they make their way right back up to the Mexican border. They know they can't come in, you know, they can't go for a political asylum, but they can go to the cartel, the Mexican cartel, give them a whole bunch of money, go through one of them tunnels or whatever other way they sneak them through and bring them and be right back in the States.
Very true.
And they keep doing that. So either you got to have them sit.
It's a revolving door with them.
Yep. And some of them are good at it.
I can't remember. I can't remember what U.S. code that it is. I can't remember what the code number is, but there is a U.S. code that basically says when you enter the United States illegally, that's a misdemeanor.
Okay.
If you get deported and then you come back to the United States and you get captured, that's a felony.
And they should hold them in the States too for a while. Like they should be locked up in the States for a while. But
see that when you have a felony, that should make you ineligible for citizenship.
Yeah, it should.
Because any felon that's here in the United States, you can't vote.
No, you can't vote. You can get your voting rights back, but you got to go through like different channels.
Oh yeah.
But you can get it, but the average felon is not going to get their voting rights back because they don't know how to go. They don't know how to do it. But you can.
Well, they're not going to necessarily care at this point. You've been you were a convicted felon.
Yeah.
You've done your time or whatever. You're just trying to get your life back.
That's the least of your worries.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's the least of your worries about something like that. I'm trying to find a little bit more into this article.
That's crazy.
Now, do you know about the CBP One app?
No, I don't. CBP One app.
Yep, it's basically a Border Patrol app on your cell phone.
Okay.
You can go to the Customs and Border Patrol website, and then you can download this app onto your phone. Because this app will actually help with reunification with foreigners and their families, but you can pre-process yourself in that app to come into the United States.
Yeah, I see it. I'm looking at it right now. I went to Google. Wow.
There was the head of Border Patrol was recently questioned, I believe, in Congress by Marsha Blackburn, I believe it was.
Okay.
And Marsha Blackburn is a Republican representative from Tennessee, I think. And there were hearings regarding that app, and it's like you're basically giving them carte blanche to come into the country.
Yeah. They should take it down.
Either they're not being fingerprinted, they're not having any background checks, they're just filling out the app, make their appointment when they want to come to the point of entry, and they come on through.
That's the question that I even failed to ask the migrants. and I see other YouTubers that interview them, nobody's asking us questions. I want to know the exact procedure, what they do when they come to the border, they do political asylum. I would assume, because of the United States of America.
Up a little bit.
No, I said I want to know the procedure, like when they come to the border and they get political asylum. I want to know the exact procedure, what they do. Do they fingerprint them? Do they
Well, I know that they basically take a picture of them, from what I understand.
They got to do more
But
than
see,
that.
I was under the impression that they had biometrics that were done on them.
Yeah, I would have hoped they would do that.
But if you're being overwhelmed by having so many people that come in and you have no place to put them, are they bypassing that?
I would have to guess they are. I'm literally gonna have to talk to a migrant today or tomorrow and ask them physically, like, when you came through the border, what was the process? What did they do with you? What did they physically do with you? Like, they take your fingerprints, like you said, biometrics. Did they do all that? I think they have to bypass it just because the numbers are so great. It takes time to do that. With what you're saying, it takes time. And if they're overwhelmed and they're, they just pushing them through like cattle, like fast as they can.
I mean, I know, like with me, they did a background check with me. I had to be fingerprinted.
Mm-hmm.
I had a background check. Because I volunteer a lot for the state where I was volunteering a lot. I had to go through a background check. I had to be fingerprinted, which included my picture, my fingerprints, and then I had to wait. This is when I actually went to go get my weapons permit.
Okay.
And it took about a month or two.
Okay.
Because of the backlog in that, I had to wait a couple of months before I got my permit. And I had to pay for the fingerprinting and everything else out of pocket. Mm-hmm. But once it's done, I don't have to worry about it anymore. Yeah. Because they have all of my information on file. And then every time if I go to volunteer now, all I have to do is give them my driver's license. They scan it, and it only takes about maybe 20 minutes for the background check.
Wow.
But see, the thing is, I'm a U.S. citizen, and not only that, the Department of Defense has my information, the FBI has my information, the state of Texas has my information. So there's multiple agencies that have my information on file.
Yeah. Wow.
So it would be interesting to see, what the actual process is for somebody who didn't come through the port of entry, but who basically came, maybe crossed the Rio Grande, they got caught, and what the process is for them when they came in.
I would want to know because
then that's where you can start identifying where the loopholes are.
Yeah, because now you got me thinking, because it's a YouTuber named Christmas List. He's a friend of mine. And he went to the border last week or the week after, and he was showing people on one side and he saw them on the other side. They crossed pretty quickly. So in my mind, I'm like, whoa, what did the U.S. government do? Because they crossed pretty quickly. But I'm sure they get your name. I would think they would at least do your fingerprints. I would think your fingerprints at the least, in case you commit a crime in the States. I would assume.
They're not using ink pads anymore. It's all digitized.
Yeah. So
and they have AI facial recognition software.
Yeah. So I think they would do that, the AI recognition, and I think they would place their hands and do, the physical fingerprint to have their fingerprints in case they, like I said before, if they commit a crime or if they get hurt or killed or something, because a lot of them that when they came for asylum, they threw away their passports, their IDs, their licenses, everything. So they can actually come to the States and say, my name is Stevie Wonder, like make up a whole new identity.
Oh yeah, exactly. But see, at least even if they did that and then their biometrics was taken, the biometrics is attached to that name.
Yeah.
So you can change your name up to 50 times, it doesn't matter. That biometrics is attached to that original name.
I don't think they.
So if they pull it up and you give them a fake ID, they put, no, this is not who they, you say you are.
We know who you are. So it's interesting, but I know they're cutting a lot of corners. I don't think they want to cut corners, but I don't think they have no choice because it's too much work for the Border Patrol. And then recently they started bringing in the military to help them. I mean, for a while, you in Texas, the military wasn't even helping Texas for a while. Like, so it's just been recent that they've been in California and Arizona, like they're actually helping the Border Patrol.
Yeah, we're actually supposed to get more National Guard in from Tennessee thanks to Marsha Blackburn.
Oh, that's nice of her. Yeah, all the help, the better. It makes it easier for everybody.
Well, because if you look at Governor Hochul and she talks about the whole migrant crisis and everything, she's not sending any National Guard to the border states. But still, she's got illegals that are crossing the border on the northern border with Canada.
Okay, and which state is she? Which state is that? That she's from that?
Governor Hochul is the governor of New York State.
Okay. Oh, New York State. New York. Okay.
She's not sending any National Guards to the border with Canada.
Yeah, that's true.
So you have a lot of influx of Arabs and a lot of Chinese that are coming through Canada into New York, Vermont, and New Hampshire.
They forgetting to guard that area too.
They know that they're coming through, but they're not doing anything about it. And they want to sit there and criticize Texas for sending people to sanctuary cities, but at the same time, they're having border issues on the northern border, and they refuse to do anything about it. But they want to keep it under the rug, like it's all just Texas's fault. Yeah,
they're not even. You actually one of the first people to address that. I've never even people addressed that they were coming down from Canada, because people assume once they're in Canada that they're going to stay there, but everybody wants to be a part of this American dream and come to the States. Wow. Unbelievable. That's unbelievable.
So this is another interesting point. This is another interesting point from this article. It says congressional Republicans have called on Biden to terminate the flights, and GOP-run states have sued to stop the program, arguing that it abuses a tool meant to be used on a case-by-case basis. This is that CB1 CBP app, that the app is actually being abused.
They need to take that app down for now. They need to disable that app for now until they get this under control. They need to make this basic as possible.
They do. They need to stop that app completely. But here's the kicker that really does it for me, that kind of ticks me off about things, and this is what I mean about Texas going from red to purple.
Okay. Red to purple.
A Texas federal court, however, dismissed the lawsuit on March 8th, allowing the administration to continue granting parole status to 30,000 migrants each month.
Wow. Break that down.
And see,
that's crazy.
We have a lot of liberal judges in the southern part of the state.
Okay.
Places like Houston, Corpus Christi, El Paso, Austin, Texas. And this is what I mean by people that are coming here from places like California, Illinois, New York, coming to places like Texas and changing the law.
I see what you're saying.
And these judges are they're not appointed judges. These judges are voted for.
Wow. Unbelievable.
And you have to realize too, like in El Paso, there is a Democratic representative there by the name of Veronica Escobar.
Veronica Escobar, okay.
And she is not so much pro-American as much as she is La Raza.
Race. Yeah.
Exactly. You have a lot of people, especially people in Mexico that live in the southern part of the United States, that believe we're on stolen land. You stole this land from Mexico. It is basically ours, so we're going to repopulate it with our people to bring it back to Mexico.
And they believe that with all their heart.
They do. They really honestly do. And it's like, haven't you ever heard of losing a war and you lose your land for it?
Yeah, that's just a simple concept. You lose, somebody gains your property.
Exactly. You know, it's not our fault that Santa Anna couldn't put up a fight. It's not our fault.
Yeah, that's true. They couldn't hold him.
When he lost that war with the United States, and guess what? The United States, this belongs to us now. How you like that?
You got more land now. Wow.
You know, it might be, you know, it's just the way of the world, you know. And unfortunately, you have people that are in political office within the state of Texas that believe more in their race and their heritage with Mexico than being a part or being an American.
Yeah. And that's crazy. And they get all the way up to these big political positions, like that they can like sway stuff certain way just because of their power. That's crazy.
I mean, what I don't understand, the House Republicans, well, basically the House of Representatives, impeached Homeland Security Mayorkas.
For what?
But they haven't removed him from office.
And what did they impeach him for? I would love to hear this.
Because of all of the situation, because he lied to Congress.
Okay.
The man flat out lied to Congress. He said that the border was secure, and it wasn't.
Wow.
So when they had congressional hearings with him, he lied to Congress, said that the border was secured, we had nothing to worry about. And then when you had all of these congressmen that were coming to Texas especially, and governors coming to Texas looking at people coming across the border, and they're like, this ain't secure. We got people walking past us waving.
This is no way is it secure, buddy.
It's like, hey, how you doing? Coming into the country.
Yeah. Wow.
And so that's what they impeached him on, is lying to Congress.
And why did they remove him yet?
At the very least, he should have resigned. If not, he should have been removed from office.
And what's their reasoning for not removing him from office right away?
I don't know.
Because I'm sure
really don't know.
They have a successor. I'm sure he has an assistant or somebody else that can be pushed up to his position.
I don't know, because it's an appointed position by Joe Biden. He can appoint anybody else that he wants, I guess.
Wow.
You know, maybe that's the reason why they're not removing him from office. You know, maybe they don't necessarily have the power to do it. I'm not 100% sure. Okay. I'd like to find that out.
They probably don't have the power to do it right now, because that's probably why they didn't do it.
It just gets me that, what does impeachment mean if it doesn't remove somebody from their
it just sounds
their
good.
seat? You know, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, we are spending billions of dollars here in Texas.
Crazy.
And that's just on the immigration issue. It's coming out of our tax dollars. People don't realize, granted, New York is feeling the pinch, but the southern border states have been feeling it, especially Texas.
Yes, and they've been feeling it a lot longer than New York and Chicago. This has been like almost an ongoing war for them with the immigrants sneaking in and coming in. This has always been a problem.
I mean, I was a border volunteer 10 years ago.
Okay.
I came in 2008, but there to 2011. So since about 2012, 2013, somewhere along in there, I became a border volunteer.
Okay.
And basically what I did was to help set up communications between ranchers in the southern part of the state.
Okay, you said ranchers in the southern part of the state.
Yes.
Okay.
The radio that I was talking about, that, so the Bofang radio, we set up little mini repeaters. So the ranchers would have communications in between different ranches by line of sight, just in case of no cell service.
Okay, wow.
And they still would be able to communicate with each other because, they take down a tower, you worry, relying on Wi-Fi. Somebody cuts your power off, guess what? Your routers don't work, you don't have Wi-Fi.
So that's a problem. That's a big problem.
That's the thing. They're like, well, my security system is Wi-Fi based and, I'm not worried about it yet. And the minute the power goes out, guess what? Your security cameras don't work because it's all based on Wi-Fi.
So everything gets shut down after that. Yeah, so
everything and its brother gets shut down. And because of the little incident that I had here, and I had one of the office managers talking about, well, you can just get a Ring doorbell camera and you don't, just put it up and you don't have to worry about it. And first of all, the way my door is situated, I would only be able to see something that's directly in front of the door.
Yeah,
I won't be able to see anybody that's on the stairs. So if I look out my peephole or if I look out my Ring doorbell camera, I'm only going to see what's directly in front of the door, not what's down the stairs. So I need to be able to have a camera that's positioned that goes across the door.
So you can see
where I can see somebody coming up the stairs and how many people are on the stairs. Because they're not robbing people around here, one person trying to break into your house. They're robbing people's homes 2, 3, 4 deep.
Yeah, so you need to really see where they're positioned at. You're 100% right about that.
You got to think outside the box when it comes to these things, not just be reactive.
Yeah.
To the situation. And then I know that there are some security cameras that don't work on Wi-Fi. They work off of the cell phone towers.
You're 100% about that. Wow.
So I got to look into different types of security systems that don't necessarily work on Wi-Fi. Because like I said, if the power goes out, you have no Wi-Fi, you have no security system.
Yep, you're 100% right. And most,
I could probably, worst comes to worst, you get a hunting trail camera and you stick one of those up, I guess, but because that works off of your phone, which works off a cell service.
They need to come up with more of them like that because you're right. People could just cut your power, and once your power is gone, I don't care if you have like $1 million system. If it's running on electric, the Wi-Fi goes down with the electric. That's a big problem.
I don't want to go out here and try to invest any money into a security system that's not going to work when I really need it.
No, you're 100% right about that.
Because I do worry about power outages.
And like
because if people are going to do something, they're going to do it in the dark.
That's true. Because anybody that's a good criminal that breaks into houses and stuff, they know about the systems and they know if there's no power, it's easy for them to do what they have to do. But if it's powered, then the Wi-Fi is on and everything.
Well, they have these jammers now. It's small enough to be able to fit. It's all the size of a wristwatch that they can jam your Wi-Fi system now.
Technology.
And I meant to look it up on Amazon to see what types that they are and pricing and things of that nature. But the technology is getting so advanced that it also advances the criminal's ability to be able to steal.
Wow. You said they're jamming.
And like I said, a lot of this stuff is sold on Amazon.
So it's easy access for anybody to buy it.
Exactly. You wouldn't believe the stuff that goes through Amazon.
They probably sell coffins for funerals. I could check and see if they have it.
They sell houses on Amazon. You can buy a human finger on Amazon.
Are you for real?
I'm dead up serious.
Wow.
One of the big things that I have a problem with is that you can buy a blow-up doll, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, on Amazon.
That's the size of a child.
That's crazy. When will it stop? When will it stop?
Let me tell you something. Them suckers are heavy. Okay? You get this little box that's like 6 by 6, and you go to lift it. It's like somebody put lead balls in these things. Jesus.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, you're 100% right. I had a friend. He brought a pool. He's in New York. He lives in Queens. He bought a pool on Amazon.
Yeah.
A pool on Amazon. A swimming pool, above ground swimming pool on Amazon.
And now it's going to get to the point. I think starting later on this year, you're going to be able to buy a car on Amazon.
That's crazy.
They got an exclusive deal with Kia, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's either Kia, Hyundai, where they're going to start selling cars on Amazon to put CarMax out of business.
And it's actually going to work because it's easier for somebody to look at a car online than have to, get dressed, go to the car dealership. They can do everything online. Wow.
And then it'll get delivered by the dealership. You pick out the color and you pick out the type of interior that you want and all this other, put it into a website, they order it, ship it to the dealership, and they could deliver it directly to your house, or you go to the dealership and pick it up.
That's insanity. That's unbelievable. Unbelievable. But I'm trying to understand with Amazon, how are they able to operate like that? Like, shouldn't they have competition? Shouldn't there be some other online? I mean, I know that we have some other online businesses, but it seemed like they have no competition. It seemed like they just drowned out the competition.
They basically did drown out the competition. They wiped out the mom and pop stores. That was, basic. Basically how Amazon kind of started was with used books.
Yeah.
Especially, college textbooks and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so now you start going after the bookstores. I can buy a book that's less money on Amazon than I can going to the bookstore to be able to go get it.
I know.
And it gets delivered to my house.
Yeah, you don't even have to go nowhere. Everything is right there. Yeah, I got 4 books on Amazon.
So when they start getting rid of the bookstores and gaining some of that, gaining that market share,
mm-hmm.
Now you go into printing. You have books on Amazon.
Yep.
You know what the process is through KDP to be able to create a book.
Yep, and it's easy, like super easy.
I just got through. Well, haven't gotten through all of the chapters yet, but I'm finishing up another chapter of a short story that I'm writing. But every time I get through a paragraph and I think I'm done, I'm like, no, I want to put some more in.
No, that's good because the longer the book, the better it is. But you have how many pages do you want the book to be? How many chapters? How many pages?
I think it's about 50, 60 pages right now,
mm-hmm.
somewhere along in there.
Okay.
And I haven't finished the one short story that I'm doing, and I have the ability to do 1, 2, at least 3 more short stories to add to it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, because a lot of the short stories that I have are only like maybe 1 or 2 pages long.
Okay. Yeah, I can probably link you up with my friend Master Wayne. he has a course, he can walk you through it to make it super easy for you.
Yeah, right now the biggest part is getting thoughts to paper.
Mm-hmm. It takes a while to gather your thoughts and put them on paper like that. It takes a while.
Yeah, especially, you've got everything in the world that's going on around you at the same time, and trying to stay on.
Mm-hmm. So it's
hard. Just trying to stay on top of things.
Yeah. And then you got to write stuff down. Sometimes you might be driving around or at work or just, hanging out somewhere. You got to write the thoughts right there, like right away, like boom.
Well, I actually bought this recorder. Well, let's just put it this way. Thank you very much, Amazon. I have a recorder that it's put out by Sony.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of the number on it. And I can it's almost like the old-fashioned dictaphones for the most part. But I can record on this recorder. It has a built-in USB where I can download that recording into my laptop.
Okay.
And as a MP3 file,
mm-hmm.
and it'll actually type it all out. It basically goes from, it basically gives me the file, and then it types out everything that I've recorded.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Sony puts it out.
Hmm.
I don't know how much it costs because it was a gift from Amazon.
Wow, that's nice. That's really nice. Makes it easy for you.
Yeah, it's called the IC recorder.
Mm-hmm.
It has a micro SD chip that you can remove. It's a handy little thing. I can actually also use this to record phone conversations as well.
Wow.
Like if I have the phone on speaker,
mm-hmm.
I can record the phone conversation once again and then download the MP3 file, and then it'll type everything out for me.
Wow.
So I basically have a transcript of my phone conversation. I also have I've got an app on my phone that I dial this number, it connects me, and then I dial the other number that I want to talk to somebody, and I can actually record that phone conversation to this third party. They save it as a file, and they actually send it to me.
Wow. Technology.
And that's the thing. With the technology the way that it is, you think that the federal government could be able to utilize these things in regarding to border security.
And which I hope they are, because I would think the federal government would be connected with the U.S. government, which has they say our military has the most technology. We spend the most money out of any military in the whole world. So I would think they would go hand in hand. That's just my opinion. I would think they would go hand in hand, help each other.
This is another thing I want to read to you regarding this article.
Let us know.
Let's see. They want to hold single adults in custody. Judd, who is another representative, suggested that they hold single adults in custody and speed up the backlog of millions of asylum cases through a last-in, first-out policy would lessen the incentives for migrants to cross and for the Mexican cartel to traffic them.
Wow.
Start now, all these people that are coming across, give them their court date immediately and deport them.
That sounds like that would be better.
He says that Judd also added he doesn't expect the administration to make drastic changes, especially after Biden said he had done everything in his authority and demanded Congress to pass a bipartisan Senate border bill instead.
Oh my goodness. This is getting funny.
There's a lot of things that can be done administratively. He just refuses to do it because If he does, it's going to prove that he was basically a liar. Everything was about a legal pathway for those people that already violated the law in our country.
That's crazy.
There will inevitably be lead to an amnesty program in the future, according to Judd, that will accommodate the roughly 8 million illegal migrants who will be living in the United States by the end of the fiscal year 2024.
So what's the number they're saying that they're guesstimating?
They're estimating between now and the end of 2024, we're going to have 8 million additional people here.
8 million additional people?
8 million additional people at the rate we're going.
That's crazy. That's crazy. You guys hear that? That is crazy.
He says all you're doing is inviting more people to come because they can.
Wow.
He says, okay, well, the only thing they got to do is get here, stay here for 10 years, and they're going to have a legal pathway down the road as well. He says the Biden administration has floated green card handouts for up to 4,000 migrants per year if they reside in the United States for 10 years, not been convicted of a serious crime, or would suffer exceptional and extremely unusual hardship if they were deported.
Unbelievable.
And it says right now, with the immigration reform bill, that would open up pathways to permanent U.S. residency and citizenship for up to 11 million migrants. So what they're saying is that so far since Joe Biden has been in office, there's been approximately 11 million people that have come
into the U.S.
But they're also into the United States
illegally.
Biden has been in illegally.
We're not talking the ones that actually, they get a visa, they do the right process, they come here for school or a better life or whatever.
It doesn't include them.
Wow. Unbelievable. You said 11.
And they're
11 million
since Biden's been in office, and they're estimating that so far, if they continue at the rate that they're going, between the beginning of the year and the end of the fiscal year 2024, we could have an additional 8 million people.
So far, how many has been here before? How many, since Biden been in office right now, how many illegals have?
11 million.
And we about 11 million. So you're talking 18 million, almost 20 million when this is all said and done. If the other president can stop it.
He's not going to stop it. Wow. It's going to get exceedingly worse as the year goes on. As we say, summer's coming.
Yeah, hot summer.
It's not going to be fun.
It's not going to be fun for
it's
the military, law enforcement. Wow.
Where are they going to get jobs? There are people being laid off in this country left and right. That's another thing they don't want to talk about. Everything is a distraction right now.
Yeah, because they don't want to say the real problems that's going on within the country.
Let's take their minds off of the border, and there's this whole big thing about P Diddy and everything else. Which I think has something to do with the human aspect of it. But it's a distraction.
That's true. Do you know what's...
because they're going to find out there's a lot more to this whole Diddy thing than what meets the eye, because I have my pros and cons about that entire thing. I think that, and this is the first time that you'll hear me say it, that I actually agree with something Candace Owens said.
Oh, wow.
Because I don't particularly like the hoe.
Okay.
She said that she believes that the government was sent in to destroy the evidence that P Diddy had.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Because of the lawsuits that he had, the pending lawsuits, that he ticked off somebody or there were people that were involved in it that were on high, who basically said, you need to go in there and get those tapes and everything else because it's going to open up a way bigger can of worms.
Yeah, because they raided all his houses. His California house, his New York house. He fled the country. How did he know when to flee the country? Like a whole bunch of stuff is going on.
You know, they try to compare him to Epstein, and they're basically saying that, you know, P Diddy is the Epstein of the hip hop world. So it's on a lower level, and it's like, no, it's not. It's not the case.
It's not. It's on a high level.
It's just as high a level as Epstein was as well. You know, P Diddy's a billionaire. Then they say that he's at least $100 million in debt. That he owes money on his homes and stuff of that nature. And now you have somebody like 50 Cent that's implementing Jay-Z. Jay-Z has an island of his own.
That's true.
People don't realize that. You know, so when you start talking about multi-billionaires within the hip hop community and stuff of that nature, they're not regular people like us. But within the same token, when you have people that are in positions of power and they have that power over other people.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
And like I said, I think all of that in a nutshell right now is nothing but a distraction. Let's get people's mind off the border situation.
Yes, that's what they're doing. That's why I try to do these videos every day. Like I said, I might go out in another hour and walk around and do another video to let people see, because the neighborhood I'm in there, that's why the title of this live is migrant shelters everywhere. Like the entire city is a migrant shelter. New York, the entire city is a migrant shelter right now.
There is a place in Texas that's called Colony Ridge.
I heard of Colony Ridge before.
Yeah, it's 60,000 acres. Most of it, they're trying to fill up with illegal aliens.
And why are they doing that? Why are they having them there for? What are they getting out of it? The work there? What are they trying to do?
It's being run by the cartel. Colony Ridge is just north of Houston.
Okay.
You sneak somebody across the border, you put them in the back of a truck, get them into this doggone community, they're lost in this community. They don't have any police for the most part.
Yes, what you're saying.
You know, the illegals will pay so much to be able to rent a house or rent a trailer or whatever, or they can buy it. And then the minute they default on their rent or default on their mortgage, they get kicked out and they bring somebody else in. The cartel is going to be making money. Multiple sources of income. They're making money off the drugs. They're making money off of real estate. They're making money off of organ harvesting. Nobody ever talks about that.
Yeah, they take the bodies and cut up get the organs, and
Mexico and China are the two biggest countries in organ harvesting.
Yeah, you're 100% right about that. I do know that too. Especially I heard about it.
Nobody
talks about it.
They were finding bodies in Arizona desert. They were finding bodies in Texas of young black men who went missing. Then when they found their bodies, their organs had been removed.
Wow.
The federal government and the news is trying to keep so many things kept under the rug so that the American public doesn't know everything that's going on. In fact, Nick Shirley did a undercover investigation with James O'Keefe.
Okay.
Where they went into the desert to one of these NGOs.
Okay.
And they had a migrant, an actual migrant that they were paying that went in undercover, and it's an entire video that they did. And if you ever get an opportunity to be able to watch that video, I'm actually subscribed to James O'Keefe. I haven't subscribed to Nick Shirley, but I still catch a lot of his videos. James O'Keefe does a lot of undercover investigation. A lot of undercover stuff. Wow. He's busted a guy from the IRS. He's busted a guy from the Department of Defense. He does a live podcast every Wednesday and comes out with these stories about people that they've basically gone undercover to get these people to talk. Wow, that's crazy. Unbelievable. He got a guy from Pfizer that talked about the whole jab situation and how it was a money-making scheme. Wow. It's just, and the thing is, he's looking for undercover citizen journalists to be able to do these things and give these reports to him so he can disseminate it out to the rest of the world. You have to be like YouTubers and, local guys that like to do that type of work, investigative guys, private investigator guys that, work independently. I had made that suggestion months ago to Nick Shirley in one of his chats. Next thing I know, he's on one of the live stream with James O'Keefe. Wow. And he has James O'Keefe has a website that you can go to and that you can sign up to be an undercover citizen journalist. Wow. And he's got all sorts of hidden cameras. He's got hidden cameras in watches. He's got hidden cameras in coffee cups that you can buy. Wow. He's got hidden cameras in glasses that you can buy. Regular reading glasses. And he says that if the American people don't realize that this information needs to get out to them, we are in trouble. People tell me about the migrant shelters. They tell me that I should find a way to pay a migrant to go in there and record inside. Since they're allowed to be inside the shelter, that's not illegal, they said, for them to go in there and record, and I'll give them a couple of dollars. What do you think about that? They said to pay one of them. Well, I don't know if I can trust a migrant that's in the shelter. Like, I don't know if you can trust them. To record inside and give you the footage. Nick Shirley did it. Yeah. Nick Shirley did it. Oh yeah, he did. In fact, because of the fact that he even speaks Spanish, he put on. This kid is crazy. He put on a reflective vest, walked into the shelter like he was. Oh, I'm just here to do an inspection. Walked right in the door, and then when they started figuring out, hey, what are you doing here? He turned around and he boogied on out of there. But he eventually got a migrant, paid him some money and this, that, and the other. And they, is on 2 different occasions, they got into an NGO. And another one was in Arizona out in the desert. Was another NGO that they managed to get this migrant into. Well, yeah, because it was like, you got to use them. Everybody said, Philly, you got to use your sources around you. You got to use them to help you. He's like, they need a little bit of money, help them out to go in there and get food. I remember one time almost when I was at what's the name of the shelter, man? Randall Island, one in New York City, the New York City Randall Island one. That was the dangerous where they be stabbing people and people got stabbed, jumped. It's like a prison. It's might as well call it a prison. And I almost could have walked in. They didn't even know. They didn't even look at to see if I had an ID or not. And I was like, I'm not going to do it. I got scared. I got a little scared. I mean, and things like that, people are just kind of, how much are you willing to risk? I know me. Yeah. I know what a big dumb idiot I can be. I'd be like, I'll go in there with a reflective vest on and a hard hat and say, "What's up?" But see, I also know enough about OSHA and about safety to be able to BS my way into something.
To pull it off, like this is a.
To kind of be able to finesse my way in to be able to get information like that.
Yeah.
Because I used to do that. I used to do that at an old job that I worked at. I worked in the safety department. I went back to an old department, and I would just, I would just walk around and tell people, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. They look at me and they're like, are you in safety? And I'm like, yeah, get it done. Walk away.
And they don't even know what's going on.
I had one of the safety guys come up behind me. He says, you need to get back in safety. You really need to get back in safety.
You had it all together.
I've been telling this guy for 3 weeks to get this stuff done. You just walk up to him and it's like, nah, get it done.
Oh, man. Oh, my goodness.
I stopped an entire welding crew one time. I came into work one morning and I was smelling something. I'm like, what's that smell? I said, it smells like sulfur. Did Satan walk through here? What?
Did Satan walk through here?
I walk around the corner and then I recognized what the smell was. It was flux.
Okay.
And they were welding up underneath, or right next to this elevator. Okay. And the sparks from it, because the OSHA regulation is that you have to have a screen up, you have to have basically a fire watch a half an hour after you're done with welding. So I come around the corner and I see these guys welding, and there's no screen up. Sparks are getting into where there's, pallets of like paper and stuff of that nature that could start a fire. So I said something to my manager and he was like, don't worry about it. I said, oh, don't worry about it? You wait right there. I went down the hallway. I got the operations manager because I know his background was in safety, but his background was in construction. And I told him, I said, Javi, come with me. And he's like, uh-oh, we're in trouble. And then he's like, what's that smell? I said, you smell that? Wow. And then when I showed him what was going on, and he's like, oh no, I said, they don't have a hot work permit. They don't have a screen up. They're in danger of starting a fire. And this, that, and the other. He went in there and he shut down the whole entire thing. Wow. And the guy that was my manager was pissed at me after that.
He was pissed. Wow.
Because I went above his head.
I got a question to ask you too. I see in the comment section, I'm looking in the comment section, and some people keep saying the portal. Everybody keeps saying the portal. I mean, how do you feel about that? I mean, I know some people get deported, the ones that commit crime and stuff, but I mean, how far do you think the U.S. is going to take this deporting them?
Well, I think that they should start with that. People who committed crimes, they should be the first one yanked out of here to be gone.
You don't even get it.
And then start from there, because what inevitably is going to happen with such an influx of people into this country, it's going to change the political dynamics of this country. It is going to change the culture of this country. And even if, let's say, Biden doesn't win the next election, now you have all these people here. They're going to have children. They came from socialist and communist countries.
Yes.
They have no loyalty to this country. They don't understand how the politics and the culture of this country has got us to be where we are today. And do you not think that the Democratic Party is going to take advantage of that? You get an additional 8 million people in this country. That means additional seats in the House of Representatives for them.
And it works in their favor.
Well, when's the next census is what, 2030?
True, that's a long time away. I think he was going to say like 2025 or something.
I think it's 2030 is the next census.
Golly.
Just think of all of the people that they can get into this country by then. They go to Democratic strongholds like California, like New York. They may gain 1 or 2 or 3 additional seats in Congress just on the fact of them being here illegal, not whether they're citizens or not.
Wow.
Because it's based on population. It's not based on citizenship.
I remember the one that told me that you were saying that. So it's like, and people don't, the average person, the average U.S. citizen doesn't even understand how that works. Like you said, if it's, they count the illegals and illegals, they just count bodies. Anybody that's here is counted in that. It doesn't matter if they can vote or not. And you said,
well, you also have to understand too. You get a person that's in this country, within that time of 10 years, they become an adult. Let's just say they're born here in the United States. By the time they turn 18 years old, guess what? They can sponsor their parents into this country.
That's true.
That's chain migration.
Yeah.
I can sponsor 3, 4, 5 people coming into this country.
Once you turn 18, you're right.
Exactly.
You're right. People don't understand it.
And
they don't
understand the ramifications of that.
Yeah, they don't understand it.
Now I've just, for every illegal, you're going to get, 2 or 3 people that you could sponsor into this country.
Yeah, they don't
That's
understand.
That's more bodies on the books. And granted, everybody's, working hard every day trying to live and don't spend a lot of time and looking at their political surroundings and understand what's going on around them. Like you have people that like, what, there's a immigration crisis in this country?
Yeah, somebody was telling Big Hawk, was it Big Hawk that told him that? He said he was in Jersey and some lady was like oblivious. She didn't know nothing about it. He said, you ain't hear about the buses, the stuff in New York, Texas? She was clueless. This is an everyday working citizen in the United States of America, was clueless about the migrant situation. Didn't even know anything was going on at all. Living in Jersey. It ain't like she's in like Idaho, somewhere that, really no migrants are going there. Like, you know what I mean? You could probably get into your little bubble and not know what's going on. But she's in Newark, New Jersey. You might as well say she lives in New York. You're in Newark, New Jersey. You right there. You feel that anything New York feels, Newark, New Jersey feels the same thing.
Oh yeah, North Jersey, you're in New York.
You're in New York, you feel everything. She did not have a clue. She was clueless.
But this is the thing about waking people up. Getting the information out there to, Joe American.
Yeah.
Because there's too many people out here who are, they've got their nose to the grindstone. They're trying to make a living every day. They don't have time to get online. They don't have time to even sit down and read
the newspaper
watch the news.
Or watch the news. They just go to work, take care of what they have to, go home. They got kids, take care of them. They got a wife, husband, whatever. They do that little thing. And boom, they got to go back and work their 2 jobs. And that's their life.
And the sad part about it is you have a lot of African American people that are just so left-wing that they don't realize what is happening to them or around them. And even if they do, they're so stuck in that tribal mindset that they refuse to realize that they're being replaced.
Yeah, they don't understand. They have no clue what's going on.
Like I've seen people in different comment sections talking about, well, they're just coming here for a better life. Why do you have such a problem with it? I said, evidently you don't have a problem with it until you go to work one day and you're training somebody that has an H-1B visa. And next thing you know, you train them, you lose your job to them.
Because you don't speak Spanish or French or whatever. Like you were saying, you lost some jobs in Texas because your Spanish is not good.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And you're highly intelligent. You're you articulate. Everybody can hear you speak and they know you're not dumb. And then, like you said, somebody could just come in and get your job because they know another language in the U.S.
Or even if you go to apply for a position because you don't speak another language, they're not going to give you the job, even though you may have, like in my case, 15, 20 years experience. And And that's unfair. I had a neighbor who lived across the way from me because I live near Microsoft headquarters. He was a black guy. He was a computer engineer. He started seeing the handwriting on the wall when they started getting all of these H-1B visa holders coming in. And his manager told him that, oh, we got somebody new. We want you to train them. And, he's, happy-go-lucky doing his job. He's not about
making waves.
Not doing his job.
Making waves.
Making waves. But still at the same time, because I'm also a trainer. So I don't have a problem showing somebody what I know how to do. Showing them best practices and stuff like that, because that only makes them a better employee, and that's a reflection upon me. If I train them well and they can do their job, without me or without assistance, that tells you the type of person that I am as a trainer.
That's true.
That's only a better reflection upon me. This guy sat here, we sat right out here in the parking lot and we were talking, and he's like, I can't do it anymore because I see what's happening. He said he had a friend of his that was in another department that started training all of these different people and everything, and he had pretty much the same mindset as him. He says the next thing you know, he had been with the company for going on 10 years, and the people that he trained, they got rid of him and put them in charge.
Wow.
And he was telling me, he says, I'm not going to go through that. He says, I'm making my exit now. He says he's setting up his business that he could work from home because currently his wife had worked from home. He says, and he's setting up a little business where he can be able to work from home. He says, and then once I get that set up and I have enough for my wife and I to be able to sustain ourselves, he says, I'm jumping ship and going back to North Carolina. I'm out.
Wow.
And that's exactly what he did. When they started asking him to train all these H-1B visa holders, he was like, he went into work one day, talked it over with his wife, and the following week, he gave notice.
Wow. Susan Dawson.
Like, I'm not training.
Yeah, hold on one second. Susan Dawson, thank you for the $20 super chat. Greatly appreciate it. Susan Dawson, thank you so much. I'm back. I just got, who's got to give this shout out when they get the super chat.
You got to get them super chats.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, until it happens to you, until it directly affects you, you don't necessarily worry or care about what's going on, and we should.
Yeah. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. They don't understand that because it's.
See, the thing is about the communist countries, they knew, the Soviet Union and China knew that they could not win a kinetic war with the United States. They had to destroy the United States from within. You remember I was talking to you about the Confucius Institutes that they were having here in the United States?
Yep.
What had happened is CCP had came up with bringing in these Confucius Institutes to various universities throughout the United States. There was well over 100 of them. And what had happened, they had an agreement with the government that, hey, we want to bring in, an ability to teach Americans about our culture and about our history, the exchange of ideas. And they fooled the United States on that premise that that's what these Confucius Institutes were all about.
Okay.
Well, what was happening in reality, they were refusing to discuss things like Taiwan, Tiananmen Square, what happened in Hong Kong. There was no give and take of exchange of ideas. They would shut people down, and if you brought it up, you became a problem, and they decided to eliminate the problem. People were being coerced not to teach their program
and not what they want.
About the history that they want to teach. There were professors that were being followed. There were professors that were being killed in the United States and abroad. Well, the U.S. government started finding out about it and basically told the universities, and they put a bill through, we feel that this is a threat to national security. So you need to get rid of the Confucius Institutes.
Wow.
Well, because a few of the universities, like, well, hey, they just gave us $150 million and we didn't have to put it in our budget. We don't want to get rid of that money.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the universities did. Out of the 100 plus that was in the United States, 100 of them are gone. There's only like a handful left in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
But these Confucius Institutes are all over the world teaching CCP propaganda. You have a lot of them in Africa. You've got a lot of them in Europe. But the United States is like, this is jeopardizing national security because now you're changing the mindset of young adults. This is the reason why Congress went after TikTok.
Yeah, you were saying that, yeah. And they still, did they roll on it yet? They didn't roll on it yet.
They're saying that it's a threat to national security because the CCP is basically data mining all of the information from people that are on TikTok.
They're working from the inside.
Now you get a person, 18, 19 years old, maybe 25 years old, they've got their master's degree, they get into some high-end job, let's say, Microsoft or Google or whatever, mm-hmm. and they've got student loans. What's to say that somebody from CCP doesn't come up and say, here's X amount of dollars, but you need to give that information to us? That's how they're stealing technology out of the United States.
Wow.
And when I started, deep diving into this Confucius Institute, I was like, I can understand why they're going after TikTok.
Yeah, you understood why.
And the thing is, I wasn't going to hold judgment against my congresswoman for her vote in doing this until I understood why. And then I also heard of a broadcast that she did, and I listened to the broadcast, and I'm like, let me go a little bit deeper into this Confucius Institute and find out what it's all about.
Uh-huh. Wow, this is crazy, man. So much to digest, so much to unpack, so much is going on, man. It's out of control, unbelievable.
Right now I'm looking into, thank you very much, Diddy. You're going to find out there is a lot more to this thing with Diddy that
we think
people are not necessarily putting 2 and 3 together.
Because it came out of nowhere.
It came out of nowhere, but still, it's been around for quite some time. The common denominator with a bunch of people in the music industry is a gentleman by the name, and I can't even really call him a gentleman, is Clive Davis.
Okay. I know who he is, but I don't know his history like that. I mean, he's a mogul, obviously, in the music world, but I don't know his history.
He was the one that helped Diddy to form Bad Boy Records.
Okay, that's true. Remember that Diddy said that.
Okay. He was also the producer that helped countless other people be successful within the music industry.
Keisha Cole's is one. I know Keisha Cole's came through him.
Oh, it's a lot. It's Brandy. It's Whitney Houston. It was,
yep,
Bad Boy Records. It was Biggie Smalls and Tupac.
Mm-hmm.
It was Death Row Records. This goes back with Clive Davis to the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
Let me give you some interesting names to keep in mind. Janis Joplin.
Okay, I know who that is.
Jimi Hendrix.
I heard of him.
Jim Morrison from Jim Morrison and the Doors.
I know who that is, yeah.
Okay. Amy Winehouse.
Oh, we know who she is.
Kurt Cobain.
We know who he is.
Out of the last 5 that I mentioned, guess what?
Mm-hmm.
They're all members of the 27 Club.
Wow.
All of them died at the age or slightly before the age of 27.
Wow.
Of either heart attack, or drug overdose.
Interesting. Hold on one second. Let me give a shout out to, we got LLN in the building. LLN is in the building. Another YouTuber watching. What's going on, LLN? YRN. What's going on with you? LLN, what's going on? I'm back. We just gotta give a shout out. We got the YouTubers in there. He's like one of the top.
Oh yeah, you gotta get those shout outs. I wonder why my chat is not connected.
Yeah, mine is. I see everything that's going on. I see them. Yeah, LLN does a lot of videos in New York City. He's like one of the lead person or one of the leading persons as far as videos in New York City. He said Milli Vanilli. He said Clyde Davis threw Milli Vanilli under the bus and Whitney Houston under the bus. They said he loved throwing his black artists under the bus. Oh man.
Well, if you start looking at some of the videos that are out, that are resurfacing regarding, we knew about Diddy a long time ago.
Wow. Yeah,
I mean, me personally, I've always thought that Diddy had something to do with Tupac and Biggie. I always did.
Wow.
And now they're coming out saying that Diddy had something to do with Wendy Williams being kicked off the air.
Oh, wow.
Remember when she was on Hot 97?
Yes.
This was back in the day when she was still doing radio in New York. I remember her getting into a heated argument about trying to out the gay rapper. She got into an argument with KRS-One live on air. Then you started finding out things about KRS-One. You started finding out things about African Bambaataa.
What they say about KRS-One? I know about African Bambaataa. He's well documented by one of the YouTubers.
Yeah. Well, they started finding out things about KRS-One as well.
Oh, and that's along those same lines. Oh, wow. What African Bambaataa was into, along them same lines. Oh, wow.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Oh, I'm in shock right now. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's like one of my favorite rappers, KRS-One. Oh my goodness.
And with this raid with P, they found a secret room. And there were certain symbolism that was in that room. And that's what I'm going to do a little bit of research on to try to gain a little bit of knowledge from, because I remember certain things like growing up in the Catholic Church. The Knights Templar were the warriors of God.
Okay.
They were the warriors of the Catholic Church to protect the artifacts and things within the Catholic religion. And back in the day when they started trying to round up the Knights Templar, is that you had the King of France that basically put out this word that the Knights Templar were actually devil worshippers.
Oh, wow.
And that they basically captured them, tortured them to the point that they were coerced into saying that they were.
Oh, wow.
But there were certain members, not all of the Knights Templar were fighters. A lot of them were financiers. They handled the money. And what I told you before, whatever you want to know about somebody, look for the money.
They said follow the money. You said your mom taught you that. Yeah, follow the money. Follow the money.
And that was what was happening. And when the French king no longer wanted to deal with having to pay out the money, and the Knights Templar started coming after them, they went after Knights Templar. And you want to know why they say that the Friday the 13th is a day of bad luck?
Why?
Because that's when they slaughtered a bunch of the Knights Templar.
Oh, that's where they got that from.
Yeah. And it was all because that a lot of them carried a certain symbol or a certain statue with them.
And they said
this particular
was found at Puff Daddy's place. They might have found something like
yes.
that. Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm just kind of like blown away by certain things because of the fact that this whole thing with Davis is not something that just happened all of a sudden. These things have been going back with him to the 60s.
Wow. I'm gonna have to do some research on him, Clive Davis and his little past.
Because he was basically Diddy's mentor.
I know. I do know that too.
He taught him on how to be the way that he is, how to be cutthroat, how to manipulate and use people.
Because Diddy did a lot to his artists, man. I remember Black Rob was dying, and he cut his medical insurance through Bad Boys. There was a lot of different things that came out lately, and I'm like, wow, that's just crazy. He did stuff like that.
There was a record company called Uptown Records.
Yeah, I heard of them. I know who they are. That's what the guy he was with before he was before he had Bad Boys. Puff Daddy was with Uptown Records.
He was with Uptown Records. It was Andre
Harrell. Andre Harrell.
Puff Daddy.
Yeah.
You had Heavy D. You had Albie Shore. And you had Kim Porter.
Interesting. Most of them are dead. The people you just named, most of them are dead.
Pretty much. The only one that's still alive is Puffy.
And Albie Shore.
And Albie Shore just got out of coma.
Oh my God. That's interesting. Interesting.
And right now, Albie Shore is trying to get his son that he had with Kim Porter away from Diddy. And he's going around now talking about how he believes that Puffy had something to do with him going into a coma. Because
healthy person.
Puffy was going around, drugging people left and right.
Yeah, that came up too. Somebody, his bodyguard, one of his bodyguards just said it. It's crazy. You talking about it, and one of his bodyguards just said it on YouTube that one of the parties, he know 100% that Puff Daddy spiked the drinks at the party. Everybody's drinks.
And you know the other thing of the 5 people that were the original members of Uptown Records, what they had in common, other than the fact that they either passed away or are recovering?
I don't know.
Albie Shore be the only one.
What do they have in common?
They were all getting ready to do a tell-all book regarding their experience with Diddy.
Wow. And then none of them made it to do the book.
Yep.
Because I thought it was kind of weird how his Puff Daddy's baby mom died. What's her name? Kim. What's her name?
Kim Porter.
Kim Porter. I was like, she was kind of young. I'm like, was she really in any health problems like that?
There are drugs that are out there, chemicals that you can induce into a person's body that makes it appear like you had a heart attack or you had pneumonia-like symptoms. I had a teacher of mine a long time ago.
What happened? Oh, the phone died. Hold on. Then we'll let her wrap that up. Hold on, let me hear this. The phone died. We might have to do this live a little later. This was getting interesting. This is like some big time storytelling. Oh my goodness. The phone died. The phone died. The phone died. Yeah. That's it for now, guys. I think we're gonna cut the live. Put the light back on me. The phone died. We're gonna do a part 2 later. We'll do a part 2 later. She can talk about what she just left off at. And she was going into about Puff Daddy, man. That was some cool stuff. Oh man. Talk to you guys in the next one. We're gonna cut it right here. The phone died exactly at 2 minutes. That was crazy. Talk to you guys in a little bit. If she wants to come back on and do a live.